We're rewatching the end with no volume because I'm going to try to post it in full, being as most of it is going to be animation. Love the way it looks. Now here we go, guys. We have animation. I skipped ahead to the end to see if there was an after credit scene, and somebody said it's at the end of the animation. There's an animated after credit scene or something like that. See, this is what happened with me. When it happened to me, they're making you not watch it. So I thought that was it. There's nothing left to see. Jump to the end just to make sure, and that was it. So Hulu isn't even allowing you to see this. I mean, you could just skip the coming up next, but they're trying to jump you into the next show before you even catch the end. So they're recapping everything. If you didn't just see the movie, this is all a recap. So far, everything we've seen, the bear attack, her almost drowning in the swamp like Artax, the bear's blood raining down on the predator. Then he murders everybody. And the other kid, that was the other kid. This is him coming after her. Now we have, all right, so far, same old stuff. Here's the nighttime with the fire. We got the band of trappers that caught her. Brother and her jumping off the tree. 20th century, not Fox anymore. Her people, the predator had prey. All right, here we go. What's this? Same shot. People look into the skies. 1, 2, 3 ships. And that's it. What's all this? I think that's all. At the end, she lays down the predator's head. Spoiler alert if you haven't just watched the movie with me. By the way, if you're seeing this, it's up in full already on Patreon. The link is at the end. She chopped off the predator's head. She brings it back to her people. She throws it on the ground. She has succeeded in killing probably the biggest, baddest thing any of them have ever seen. So obviously they're going to respect her. But then we see 3 ships come in, but it's animated. I don't know. Was that added in later? Maybe because I heard at Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, this was huge. Maybe they added something in at the end with the animation to signify possibly a sequel. I'm wondering if that was there from the beginning. Because I almost feel like it would have been easy for them to throw in some kind of animation like that to be like, haha, there's going to be a sequel. I don't know. It could just be the way they wanted to do it. Or it could have saved them a lot of time and money to not have to film that. 3 ships coming in to go meet her and her people after they just chopped the predator's head off would probably cost a significant amount of money, enough more so than just what they did there. And we got the point. I understand. What I understood it as was the same as Predator 2. If you guys didn't see the movie, in the movie, we have a reference back to the gun that Danny Glover gets at the end of Predator 2. A big reference. We meet the guy who owns the gun, Raphael, who's also in the 1996 comic books. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the guys who made the Predator movie, I believe, they may or may not, I might be wrong about this, but I believe they were involved with a comic book done by Dark Horse Comics back in the 90s. I believe I still have the comic somewhere, but it was 1718 Predator or Predator 1718. This was 1719. That's why in the beginning of the movie I freaked out because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to tie these together. I thought they were going to loosely tie it together. They right in our faces are like, nope, here's the guy Raphael whose name is on the gun that we saw Danny Glover get in Predator 2 back in the 90s. It's his gun. We meet the man. We literally see the man die. We take his gun. We then fight the Predator with the gun. And somehow the Predators get the gun back. So we saw the 3 ships come flying in the animation. I believe they are coming back like every other movie to go pick up their dude. Their dude is now dead because we killed him. And they're either going to decimate her tribe, which I highly doubt because they're not that kind of people. They're hunters. They're somewhat respectful of the traditions of hunters. So, being as we properly hunted and defeated their guy, I feel like we'll make some sort of trade. Maybe we'll get some weaponry from them and give them the pistol. And that is how at some point it gets back to Danny Glover, which is very amazing if you think about it, because that means 300 years later, that pistol went from our people, well, not even our people, because she basically took it off a guy whose people were trying to kidnap her and torture her or possibly even kill her. She took it off them. I'm assuming she gives it to the Predators And now 300 years later, it comes back to us sort of almost like a reward or a trophy from them to us. Like, you remind me of these people 300 years ago that defeated one of my best. It's almost like an honorary thing that has gone full circle. And I dig it. And I dig that they're respecting the comics and the movies and tying things together in very interesting ways that don't really affect the movie. But if you know the lore and the background, you'll appreciate it more. And that is amazing. I really enjoyed this movie. I would say it is easily up there with the original 2, possibly better than 2 with Danny Glover. I have a special place in my heart for Predator 2. Gary Busey, Danny Glover, early 90s. I grew up with that kind of stuff, so it's hard for me to say this is better. It's different, and it's great, and I appreciate it. I dug the lead. Amber Midthunder was a great lead, fantastic. They had some scenes in this movie that reminded me a lot of other movies, specifically Dances with Wolves with the buffalo scene. I feel like they were being reminiscent of that. And then the whole scene with her sinking in the swamp and using the axe, it gave me such vibes of Predator 1, the way the mud looked with Arnold Schwarzenegger covering himself, but it also gave me feels, and I said it during the reaction, of Artek's drowning in Neverending Story. I felt like it was very similar and reminiscent to the look of the swamp and the way she was sinking in and everything. Not nearly as crazy with the music and the emotions as Neverending Story. I don't know, I just was getting feels from other 80s movies, other science fiction, fantasy type things, along with this. All the action was great. I highly recommend you go check it out. If you guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons edited, what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. This is up in full unedited. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Stargate, Battlestar, all these other shows. Go check it out. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.